Jack.
And me, Luke.
And today we're going to dive into it a little bit more about how and what it takes to run such a formidable beast that is JLC Distribution, based here in the UK. And if you're just joining us as well, and you're wondering what we do here, look around. We do all of this. We distribute solutions. All of these boxes have solutions in them. And it's our job as a salesperson to find out where best fits those solutions. And that's a new one actually. I quite like it. I'm going to run with that. But I feel like that's a good representation. Wouldn't you say?
So I would say that, and then our job is to deliver that.
Yeah. From the operations side. Yeah. That's so true, of course, because it's not just about selling it, it's all about how we deliver.
Someone needs to get it out.
Yeah, definitely. That's all part of it. There's 6 steps, and that is one of them, following up. Great, so we're going to go into a little bit today. And of course, this is running live on YouTube as well, so join us. Join us in this chat. Fire over some questions.
Kelly says, I hear Secret Santa was in your office today.
Yeah.
Who did you get?
I can't tell you.
I can't say. I'm pleased with mine though.
I'm also pleased with mine, and I don't know why. I don't know where people get, and I don't know where people get off saying who they've got, because it's the whole Secret Santa.
I must admit, I really like to know who I've got.
Do you?
I'd like to know, yeah.
You like to know who? Yeah, but
Who's got you? Or
You like to know who?
Yeah, who's got? Yeah.
Yeah, you know who you've got.
Oh, I know who I've got.
But what you like to know?
I like to know
Who
who's
has you?
buying for me. Yeah, I just like to know.
Why?
I don't know. It's just nosy, isn't it? Like to know.
You just want to control everything.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's not my control freak.
Yeah. You just hate that someone else has got control.
I need to know.
Oh wow. We got a long old way until we have to do that. So I'm sure I might start spreading rumours of who's got who, just to really like misinformation. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Kelly. We can always rely on Kelly, can't we?
Always.
We can always rely on Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for joining us. And of course, anyone else who's got some questions about this is a chance. This is for you to understand what it takes to run a machine like this. And last week we were going into the hiring process. Obviously,
Yeah.
Benji's now gone. Sad times.
Yeah.
And now we've got people doing different roles.
So it's calmed down a little bit from the last couple of weeks. When Benji was about to leave, we were like running a trial to see how we would work with one person down, because we had Abby doing his role alongside him. So we were like in theory one person down in the warehouse, and we were moving a lot of pieces around. So
Yeah.
it's calmed down. Now obviously Abby's gone up there, and everyone kind of knows what they're doing now. But we have still that shortfall, like part-time person in the warehouse, which is what we're recruiting for.
Okay.
But overall things have calmed down a lot now, so it's nice to get back to normality. Everyone knows what they're doing, and it's good. So we've had a couple of interviews this week for the part-time position for the warehouse. Had a couple of good candidates, but I was saying to Arlene actually during the interview, when you do recruit for part-time people, you're not the priority. Like they're either their kids, like it's like a part-time person for kids or like education. So we need to be mindful of that when we do take on part-time people.
We're not going to be the centre of their universe.
Yeah. Well, I say it depends who you are. Whether obviously your family comes first and friends before work. Some people say work first, but with part-time people, it's a little bit more difficult sometimes to gauge that. And obviously reliability is a key thing we look for. We want people to be committed. So it's just trying to get that balance really.
Finding that balance. Well, I'm sure. And if you're watching this as well, please do share your details if you know someone, or if you know someone who knows someone else. Just fire it in there. Let us know. I mean, ideally they'd work locally. Unfortunately, we can't operate remote. That's not how this works. But we're looking for a part-time warehouse operator. Is that right, Mr.?
We've actually changed it to data processor, because the role where we've got a little bit of a shortfall in strength and depth in the operation is actually on the processing. So DocuWare and labels, like the more fiddly admin tasks. So we've actually said it's like a data processor role. But like everything, we'll say we will be expected to kind of pitch in, do a bit of pick and packing as well. But predominantly we'll be covering DocuWare. We've got a lot of people that are good at that pick and packing. So that's more our shortfalls in the actual processing area. So
Yeah, good. And I guess as well, because we are still a relatively small operation. So naturally, with any small operation, you do end up wearing a few hats. So I guess having that level of diversification is kind of always desired. So so what does good look like to you in terms of a good candidate?
So for me, it's always you gauge the actual people skills and how they come across. Even just like the first conversation with them, I actually had a gentleman call me up yesterday, and straight away he was like blaming like external factors. He was like, oh yeah, like, I've had problems with this, and I was like, this is the first time I've spoken to you, and you're telling me your problems. I've never even met you, so I was like, someone like that who's telling me their problems straight away is someone who's going to be.
It's a bit of a red flag.
Straight away. So,
well, like they've been kind and they've shown you the red flags immediately to help you enable to make your decisions.
So it's a bit of I pick up on a lot of like tells like that, and obviously when you're actually in the interview as well. So like their general like people skills, also their like history, not in terms of like their actual experience of what they've done the same as that job, because I think you can kind of learn anything, but just to gauge a feel for like how hard working they are, like, what different jobs they've done, like how long they stay in the job. I think it's quite a good indication of how committed somebody would be.
Okay, that's good. And to be honest, a lot of it, I mean, I expect, I don't know whether they do a LinkedIn or not, but LinkedIn is basically now like a CV, just like a constantly updated CV, and a CV that can interact with others, sort of like, it's like a social media CV.
Yeah.
It is. I remember somebody accurately put, it's like Facebook but boring. That's actually changed a lot more now since that's happened. I think LinkedIn's a lot more of a, I feel like a lot more diverse place and a lot more, it's evolving.
Yeah, 100%. You need to have that updated. Yeah, so I think for like an interview role into a warehouse like this, I think is more professional. So it's more, say like mid-senior, senior. And we mainly get our candidates from Indeed. We get a lot of people applying to Indeed. So that's usually where we get 90% of our people from.
Do you get a lot of people that are applying and then don't know what company you're calling from because they just applied for so many?
Yeah, there are some people like that. They're like, what's the role again? So I mean, people will just spam applying. That's fine. Like if they then come in and then they have a good interview and
great.
The thing is, like from just a job description, all companies do look quite similar. Like our job description lists what the job is, but when they actually sort of come and like speak to us, hopefully they're like, oh yeah, this seems like a good place to work. So I remember that's the vibe I got in my interview. It was like, obviously, you look at your operations manager, and when you come in, you're like, it's that feeling you get from the interviewers as well, isn't it? It's a two-way thing. Obviously, people think it's just we need to make sure that we're the right fit for that person as well. So
it's a two-way thing for sure. It's like it's a two-way dance, and they've got to find out whether they're right for you. And it's like they're interviewing you as much as you're interviewing them.
Yeah, and that's another point actually. When we do interviews, a lot of companies will say, "Oh, it's like JLC is brilliant to work for," but in an interview, I won't actually say that. I'll actually play hardball, make it realise that it's actually more serious than they think. Because then, if you raise your expectations and you say, it's really fun here. Like, I don't want them to come in thinking this is like a playground.
But
then when they are here, I'd rather be kept like quite strict. And when they come in, they're like, oh yeah, this is like actually really nice. Like everyone's like really relaxed. So I don't like to overpromise. On this is like great. Let's just say, it's quite like serious and maybe highlight maybe some of the bad points sometimes to make them realise that it's not all roses sometimes. Like this is a reality. So I think when employers like overpromise and say, oh, we're like fantastic, then it creates a wrong impression. It's not realistic.
Yeah, those like kind of those red flag terms, isn't it? You know, I'm just trying to think of some of like the worst interviews I've been in. Not here, as in like interviewing outside. Can you remember any of your first interviews?
I had a bad one once. And they were just asking like all awkward like questions. It was a lot of stuff about, we say about like environmental stuff. Like equal rights and stuff like that. Like, they were expecting really in-depth answers like that, and they were just like, what would you do in this situation? Like, how would you? And it was just like, it was completely overboard.
Really?
Yeah, it was completely caught me off guard. What about you?
I've had some bad ones, to be honest. I've had some bad ones. I remember I was applying for a role at Sky. And I had basically I alluded in my CV, it's like one of my first interviews that I come back after travelling, so I really needed a job. And I really needed to, I remember I was working for, I went to Sky, I don't know the name, whatever. And he actually reduced me to tears. I actually cried. Yeah, it was so intense, because basically, I'd obviously alluded to the fact that I'd worked for a stationery company before, but it's my family stationery company. But I didn't specify that it was my family. I didn't like putting it as my family because if they say it's like a family, although now I wouldn't mind it. At the time, I had some kind of, I wanted to disconnect. I didn't want to feel like that the opportunity was handed to me because it was my family. So I was working there, and he basically, he didn't like that, and he sniffed out, and he basically got me to say, by asking these really probing questions about the role. I guess I was being disingenuous by saying it wasn't. I didn't say it wasn't my family, but I didn't say it was.
Yeah.
And he had sniffed it out, and I think I think
You know he's got your number.
He
like,
really
but
did.
it's like,
He really did. But like in the end, like it was just like it was so stressful. I remember just like tears running down my face. Like I really wanted a job.
Yeah.
Actually, looking back at it now, I feel like it was so unprofessional. But yeah, that's one of the ones. That's one for me, and then another one I went for. I think I might have done this already. I'm not sure, but it was working for. I wanted to go for work at Honda.
Yeah.
I'm in Chris Causeway, and the sales manager like invited me for an interview. I'm like, yes, got it. And he gave me the interview, and basically he said, I don't know if you've heard this one, but basically he did a scenario for me, and I said, what would you do in this scenario? And I'll do it to you, see what you say. Bex as well, say it. So, what would you do in this scenario? You're working in a suit manufacturer, you're working for a suit shop, and they're running a global competition, so it's global, so it's a suit, so loads of other suit stores like around the world, you'll be recognised throughout everyone, right, as winning this suit, and you get an all expense trip paid to Las Vegas, and you get money and great, happy days. And you're one more suit away from selling and getting the prize and winning.
Yeah.
Your favourite customer comes in, and he says, he picks out this suit, and it's awful. The suit is bad, and I'm talking vile. What do? Do you lie to him and let him buy it, or do you say like you're like the truth and give your opinion? Like I don't think that's going to suit you, and then he's going to go next door to the competitor and buy the same suit anyway. What would you do? What would you do in that scenario?
So I think firstly, if he's picked it out and he likes it,
Yeah.
then you can kind of in your head be like, he likes that, so I might be able to sell it on the basis that he likes it.
Yeah.
But then secondly, if you've got a suit shop and it's any decent suit shop, you should be able to find a reasonable alternative if you're a good salesman.
Yeah.
So I would say probably the second option. If you think it looks terrible and you're an expert in that field,
Yeah.
then I'd say like maybe try this.
He's going to rely on you, yeah. He's going to rely on your expertise, and then also he's going to go back to his friends or his family with this new suit on that's horrible.
I wouldn't, yeah.
And they're like, oh, where'd you buy that from?
I wouldn't let him, I don't think I would let him do that, because then your business reputation, your company reputation is pretty damaged.
Yeah.
He gets laughed at by his friends or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Reputation. I mean, and again, it's all about you don't want to be that salesperson just cut and run.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's what it was. But it's one that's always stayed with me. And it's bearing in mind, I was about 17 or 18 years old, so it was like one of my first serious interviews, and it just always stayed with me. It just, I guess it was. I think I said something like I thought I was being cute, like I'd probably have a word with him and say, look, I don't like it, but if you like it, I'll buy it and we'll split the money. I think I said something really cute. But anyway, I didn't get the job. I think I just pursued him so much that he just gave me an interview and just threw it at me. But it's always good to.
you reminded me of one I did as well, actually, a really bad one. I actually went for a role in medical sales, so that was one of my reasons why I wasn't sure what I wanted, I was trying loads of stuff. And I researched for it, I revised a little bit for the interview, but when I got in there, this guy was asking me a question, and he was actually sighing my answers. He was just like so much contempt for what I was asking. And I remember I felt that big, I was just asking things, and it was late in the day, and I was like, this guy doesn't want to be here, like, he doesn't like me. And he was just sighing, like, I thought that was really unprofessional if he didn't like someone, and I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. It was just a terrible interview, so I think that's probably my worst experience thinking about it.
Interviews are stressful, they can be hard, and more often than not, you'll remember most interviews because emotion is linked to long-term memory.
Yeah.
So like, you sometimes feel in an interview, you could feel like a deer in headlights if you've not gone to many. And to be fair, even if you've gone to many, they're all going to be different. And I feel like the process, I feel like historically, they've not aged, like sometimes they've not aged well in some companies. I always try and like use my past interviews as like, right, I don't want it to be like that.
Yeah.
So whenever I do interviews now, I'm always like a lot more open-minded to it, just because from the negative interviews that I've had.
Yeah.
I think they can be a little bit old school, and I think, the CV in itself is probably quite old school.
Yeah, I said CV's just a rough guide, isn't it?
It is,
it's when you actually go into the interview, I think. But I think when you're younger, you don't have much experience. I'm speaking personally, and you're not as confident in what you're saying as well. Like but as you kind of get achievements throughout your life, like when you're older, like personally speaking, if I went into an interview now, I'd be really confident whatever I did, and I'm sure you'd probably be the same. But you have to have that experience and those achievements behind you to like believe your own hype kind of thing.
Definitely.
So
you know the value, you know what you can add.
Yeah.
Maybe you've done some research on the company as well.
Yeah.
Obviously that does help.
Yeah. If you've improved something in a previous business, you will be employable like to any business.
Yeah.
Like if you're a successful person in any kind of scenario, you're always employable.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Get that across to the
It's transferable, isn't it? But it's just identifying the path in which that your skill set is transferable to their company and how you can add value.
How was your interview for JLC?
My interview for JLC, well, it happened in the early hours of the morning, I would say. James came to a party. James came to a party, my New Year's Eve party, and he just said, "Do I want to come work for him?" It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're outside.
No interview.
no interview. He said start on Monday, and I did. I was like, great. And I was working for my dad at the time, so at a stationery company. So yeah, that was my interview process. And it worked out well. I mean, we did some packing, and we arrived here. That was my interview. It wasn't really an interview. It was more of a But I knew James. I knew James anyway through school, and me and Bex, James' sister, we were in the same year at school. So our families knew each other. We went to the same dentist.
Yeah, we actually take the same dentist. We'd see each other every 4 weeks at the dentist for our braces appointment.
We go to the same dentist. I always knew the legs. But we must have accrued some questions.
Yeah, there are some actually. Kelly says, "Are you looking forward to moving warehouses?"
Oh, I don't know. You probably not. Me, yes.
Why would I not?
Well, it's a lot of work.
No, don't mind that. No, it's growth. It's a challenge. If you like challenge, that's what drives us. Challenges. To move to somewhere bigger, I'm really excited for it. Like, yes, it will be a big piece of work. There'll be a lot of planning to go into it to make it a smooth transition. But the fact it just shows that we're growing, and it feels like we're growing as well. So I'm really excited.
That's such a good answer. Yeah, of course you are. I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. For the same reasons as Luke, it's a sign of the times to come. And it's exciting, and we've been putting in a lot of work for a lot of time, and this has been our home for the past 10, 11 years. 10 years? 10 years?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We've kind of like come and gone a few times, but I'd say like predominantly 10 years. So,
yeah, I'd say it's about 10 years, I
This has been
reckon.
our home for a good amount of time.
Arlene says, "Who is the warehouse joker?"
Easy.
Well,
Charlie.
It's got this guy.
Oh.
On cue.
Literally, you couldn't have timed any better. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, Charlie is the biggest joker.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, Arlene, you'll be able to tell us that. I'm sure you know.
I'm sure she agrees.
Yeah. Gotta be. Yeah, it's either Charlie or John.
John's doing a joke about Charlie mainly. Always giving out a bit of Any more?
No, that's all the questions at the moment.
Anything going on your side? More operational based or not?
As I said, pretty chill now. It's calmed down a lot since like the changes and the trials we've done. So it's nice just to get back a bit of normality back.
Cool.
As I said, no news is good news really. Guys are just cracking on, doing what they normally do, keeping everything in check, and just make sure we're keeping on top of stock orders and all our processes and keeping everything tidy. So can't ask for any more at the moment. Nice and smooth to the plan.
Great. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think how many minutes?
19 minutes.
All right. Can we call it there? That's fine. Thank you again, Luke.
Yeah.
It's been a successful operational incident. Thank you for our internal joker as well, Charlie. Charlie, you're apparently the biggest joker here. I mean that in the nicest way.
Am I?
Yeah, you're the office joker, the warehouse joker.
Work comes first, and then...
There we go, that's what I said.
I wonder what he was going to say. Cool. All right. Nice. Let's. Tomorrow is Thursday, which means
Random Thursday.
It's your show.
I have no idea. It's yours now. It is Random Thursday. We're going to pick a topic. We're going to go into it a little bit more, and it's a chance for you guys as well to ask some questions, put them on the spot. Come up with some stuff. I don't care. There we go. Thank you, Barry. Until then, I'll see you. Get me off. Yeah, Luke, close it off.
Jack will see you tomorrow for Thursday, and I will see you with Jack on Friday for Start of the Week.